A very warm welcome to you, and thank you for attending our open evening. Whilst visiting the school is currently not possible due to current restrictions, I'm delighted to speak to you this evening live over the internet and offer you a virtual experience of life at Kings. My name is Wiltshire, and I'm honoured to be the head teacher here at Kings Academy. This evening is about you and about finding out what it's like to be a student at Kings. Later, you will hear from some of our newest Kings students that have just started a few weeks ago. Regardless of what's going on in Westminster and the world, when you enter the gates of the Academy, you're not only entering a school with a top reputation for exam results. After all schools care about exams, but here at Kings, we care about the young people now and in the future. And you'll be part of the Wessex Learning Trust family from 2 years old, right the way up from sixth form. We are genuinely here able to offer a joined-up education for the young people in the area. This truly offers unique benefits for all of our children, and we work to develop the whole child. So that means that you work hard to pass your exams, but you also enjoy your learning, those subjects at GCSE and BTEC and A-level. And after a transition period in Year 9, building upon the learning that's happened at Key Stage 3, we then offer a 3-year Key Stage 4 that allows the extra boost to confidence and learning, and to allow the time to revise at the end of the courses. We want the King's students to look smart and to be smart, hence our extremely smart school uniform that gives a more business-like approach to our schooling. Our participation drive encourages all students to get involved in an activity to provide wider personal development and take part in the clubs and activities and learn something new. Whether that's art and fashion, around business, food technology, baking competitions, speaking competitions, art or creative writing, geography, the whole school production, Maths Week, the Duke of Edinburgh scheme, music, performing arts, and of course sporting fixtures. And we like to win at Kings, but you can become a member of our dynamic sports academy too. And this is of course just to name but a few. And whilst some of these take on a different format due to the current situation, our aim is to offer a broad experience. As our mantra says, we believe and succeed, and every young person has something to offer. The support and family-orientated approach at Kings is underpinned by the house system, designed so that all students feel noticed and flourish as if it's 4 small schools. That's Avalon, Camelot, Lyonesse and Tintagel. And this is what drives the competition, student leadership and encourages team players. Welfare and well-being remain at the top of our agenda. And we have a dedicated welfare centre to give that extra care to students. And later on this evening, I will introduce you to Gemma Hunt, the deputy head teacher that leads the pastoral and welfare team. We hold focus days here at Kings and an extended tutor time format that allows us to go beyond the national curriculum, allowing more time to focus on life skills, world events, topical issues, and of course learning how to best learn. We're proud of the strong links that we have forged in the immediate community, as well as the collaborations even wider afield. We have an employability drive here that looks at the skills and attributes that young people will need to go into a changing world of employment. And we work closely within the area and, of course, with our Christian community. School should be fun, it should be stimulating and enjoyable. And for those of you presently in Year 8, who join us in September, there's various talks of your own for Induction Day in July so that you can feel confident and ready for your next steps. And of course, details will follow on from our dedicated transition team about these. This evening we're offering you the opportunity to ask questions, and we will try to answer as many of those as possible live at the end of this presentation. And please just use the link at the bottom of the video description should you wish to submit a question. And of course, whilst we're unable, unfortunately, to show you around in person, we'd now like to have the opportunity to take you on a short video tour around Kings Academy. King's Academy is committed to the very best of opportunities for our young people, and our aim here is to offer a broad and balanced curriculum that is set and right for every student. I'd like to take this opportunity to now hand over to Rachel Hopwood, who is the Deputy Head Teacher responsible for performance and progress, who will outline our curriculum offer.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us online and live. At King's, we are highly ambitious for every student. We aim to deliver a broad, innovative and knowledge-rich curriculum that allows all students to fulfil their potential and to be well equipped for the future. As already described, at King's, we offer a 3-year Key Stage 4, but with enhanced transition between Year 8 and Year 9. You'll see at the top of this grid, all students study the core subjects English language and literature, mathematics, science, religion, philosophy and ethics, RPE, physical education, personal, social and health education and citizenship. Core physical education, personal, social and health education and citizenship are non-examined subjects. Students then choose 2 from the EBAC options in the second tier. EBAC options include French, Geography, German and History, and there's a guided pathway with additional English and Maths or an EBAC booster for some students. Students then get the opportunity to choose 2 enrichment options. They include GCSE Art, Business Studies, Computer Science, DT and Food, just to name a few, and vocational options including Business Studies BTEC, iMedia ICT, Performing Arts and Sports Science. I've briefly described the qualifications that are on offer, but I'm sure you'd like to know about the results as well. In terms of the value added to each GCSE grade taken in 2020, the Progress 8 score here at King's was plus 0.28. That's the score based on the students' best 8 GCSEs compared to those with the same Key Stage 2 scores on entry. Attainment 8 was 5.24, that's the average grade. And in terms of, for those students who got a 4+, including English and Maths, King's came out at 77.5%, whereas the National was 66% and the Somerset average 62% in 2019. The same for the Strong Pass, that's those achieving 5+, including English and Maths. King's, that was 52.5%, whereas the National was 44% and the Somerset average 39%. You can see students do well here at King's. For many of our students, they continue their journey through Key Stage 4 and on to Key Stage 5. So it's probably helpful to also know that students at Key Stage 5 in King's 6 do well. The level 3 overall average points per entry is 35.96. That equates to an average grade of a B-, with the overall average points per student being at 105.22. The value added at Key Stage 5 for those level 3 subjects is plus 0.21. That's adding nearly a quarter of a grade compared to the students with the same attainment on entry. Some of you will now have questions you'd like to ask around transition and the options process. Please be advised though that assemblies will take place for all those students that are currently in Year 8. An advice booklet will be sent to parents. There will be some guided choice, parents of students who would benefit from additional English and Maths, and they will be contacted separately. There will be an options open evening in January. We are hoping that that can be a face-to-face event where you can talk to the individual subject teachers, but we will of course work within the current guidelines and keep you informed. Students will then submit their choices. For all students, there'll be a transition day. Hopefully again, this will be face-to-face, but if not, it will take place virtually. They'll get to experience King's, including lessons, and meet their tutors. Parents will also have the opportunity to meet with their students' new tutor and head of house. There will be transition work provided for subjects that are core in Term 6, and this will facilitate the transition from middle school through to King's. For some students who we believe will benefit from enhanced transition, invitations will also be extended to tour Kings and meet key staff prior to them starting. But here at Kings, we are more than just the qualifications. All students are encouraged to get involved with as many things as they can, which are in addition to those qualifications that they take. That includes activities that are linked to our Christian distinctiveness and pride values that Miss Hunt will tell you a little more about. There are subject clubs and groups, including the Green Team working on environmental issues and budding journalists. There are music groups, whether that be choir or orchestra, a jazz group or a big band. And there are performances of expressive arts, as well as public speaking and debate. And of course, there's the aforementioned Sports Academy. I'm now going to hand over to Miss Hunt, who's going to talk to you about inclusion and welfare.
Thank you. As Rachel has kindly said, I'm Gemma Hunt. I'm the Deputy Head for Inclusion and Welfare. Here at Kings, we have a house system of 4 main houses where all students and staff are part of. Each house has a head of house and a deputy house to strengthen our pastoral support and academic progress. The 4 heads of house are currently Mr James, Head of Camelot, Miss Beecham, Head of Avalon, Miss Lewis, Head of Tintagel, and Mr Rigg, Head of Lyonesse. The reason why our house system is so important to us is it gives every student a sense of belonging. It develops leadership skills, opportunity for positive outcomes, and pride in who they are. As part of the house system, we have a range of house councils so everybody can be part of something. We also complete activities in houses such as focus days previously mentioned, and house competition is really positive with 4 very, very competitive heads of house. Kings has a strong set of values which we are very proud of. These values are our pride values. We feel that if all students have these values, as a school, we will succeed at whatever we do. We award good behaviour with house points. These house points can be added up and then go towards the House Cup competition at the end of each term and at the end of the year. House points could be awarded for everything, not just good work in lessons, but also for extracurricular activity or going above and beyond. Our extracurricular activities include many things, such as our shows. Previously, we've done Matilda and we've done Legally Blonde, and all fingers crossed, we are hoping to do 42nd Street this year. We are also amazing at sport. I'm biased as I'm the PE teacher, but we are. We've got one of the biggest extracurricular sporting activities offered in many of our schools. We're also really good at it and win quite a lot. We have many students that represent our local areas, county, national and even international, with one student last year going to the Paralympics for skiing. As Rachel talked about earlier, in terms of extracurricular activities, these are just some photos of students enjoying their extracurricular options. One of the many benefits of being part of Kings is being based as a community. At Kings, we take pride in our community and are regularly involved with projects. An example of this is our new Roots and Shoots project, where we've worked with the Rotary and the Space to develop an allotment for our students to have and to use as part of their curriculum. We are proud of all our students' achievements, whether it be sport, music, academia, performing arts, and we encourage students to participate in something wherever possible. We also at Kings support charities, raising thousands of pounds per year. Last year, in our Charities Week, we raised £10,000 for various charities. So at Kings, with our high aspirations, we also have a very high standard for attendance. We ask students to aim for 100% attendance, and we of course understand that students may get poorly and may have to have the odd day off sick, but we ask students to come in as much as possible, as we know that good attendance is linked directly with good progress and outcomes. Alongside with our high standards, we also have a very good uniform, and with our uniform, we ask our students to wear it with pride, as it's Kings of Wessex. We know our high standards on our uniform means that our students look smart. If they look smart, they act smart. If they act smart, they are smart. We also have our respect agenda. This is our anti-bullying policy. We have zero tolerance on bullying, and all students have a right to learn in a happy, safe, secure environment. Kings has a respect agenda that all follow. We look out for each other as one big community, as one big family. We also have our top 10 for our students. This is about being productive, being good learners, looking at what you need to do in the day-to-day life of living at Kings. We're a mobile phone-free school. You may ask the question, why? The reasons for this is that when we asked students, the general approach was that they felt that social media causes them the most stress as much as it did exams. So we wanted to take that stress away. The other reason is that we wanted our students to talk to each other in the playground, at break and at lunch, and not be on their phones all the time. We also know that having a mobile phone and being on a mobile phone can be addictive, and even Apple have said they've been concerned about how addictive this is. So with our high levels of behaviour and our high standards, we also put as much focus into welfare and pastoral support. Our student welfare inclusion team is held in school with a number of members of staff running interventions and support. These are just to name but a few. There's quite a long list of the staff that are in the welfare team, but some of them as an example is one-to-one academic mentoring, mental health first aid support, support with exam stress and anxiety, and anger management. We also have our learning supervisors also offering academic and pastoral support. One would be Hattie Watson, who's our ELSA, which stands for Emotional Literacy Supports Assistant, who sees a number of students every day. On top of the pastoral support, we also know that not every student thrives at everything and every student is unique. So we also offer alternative curriculum support for a few students. That's just a touch of support that we offer here at Kings, but please do visit our website where you will find many supporting documents to signpost your children or yourself for further support. An example of this is our mental health support check and reference sheet that you will find. This is under safeguarding and welfare support. Some of you may recognise some of these logos. These are the partnerships that we have with these organisations to make sure that we are looking at the whole child and working together. I hope that this has given you a flavour of the breadth and depth of support that we offer here at Kings, alongside high expectation of behaviour, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have later. I would now like to hand over to our Year 9s.
Yeah, everyone's really nice. Yeah. And like Felons and Q6s, they're not that much different, and when you come together you can see that everyone mixes, and it's just really good.
Yeah, it's been really easy to make those new friends. So our tutors have helped a lot. We've been able to talk throughout our tutor group, find new people to talk with and make friends.
Textiles, because I like being creative and stuff.
I'm media because I like being creative and also I like computers.
Yeah, probably IT for me too. I do like computers quite a lot.
I quite like textiles. Textiles are really fun.
It's gonna be awesome trying to like
making everything. That would be cool.
The thing I'm gonna like sport the most, like being outside, having fresh air, and like the teachers like are nice and friendly too. So.
It's nice. The teachers have been a lot of help.
Yeah, I think it's better to have like the subjects that you choose than just every subject.
Yeah, then you have more enthusiasm for the subjects.
Yeah.
So you can choose what you want to do in the future rather than just being told you have to do this.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot scarier than it was, but it hasn't. It's been really nice.
Yeah.
I was a bit worried, but everything's very clear where everything is.
Yeah, it was really easy, and everyone showed us what you were doing and stuff like that. So it's really
And I didn't get lost like I thought I would.
Yeah, all the teachers have been really clear on what we need to do to stay safe, where we go and what not to do.
Yeah, I thought the zones were going to be a bit like harder, but yeah, the tutors did explain it very well.
Yes.
Most of
Yeah.
them. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah,
Everyone.
absolutely. Yeah, they're so
100%.
kind and they're really good at teaching, so they're good at what they do.
Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening for our open evening presentation. I hope you've enjoyed the opportunity to gain a little more understanding of what we have here to offer at Kings. We also hope that, dependent upon current restrictions and future restrictions, that we'll be able to offer a full transition package later in the year, which will involve, obviously, young people from Year 8 joining us for that transition process. As mentioned earlier, I'd now like to take the opportunity to answer some of those questions that have been submitted during this evening's presentation. And I will ask Sam to read those questions out to us, and I will either answer those myself or hand them over to Gemma and Rachel. So Sam, the first question, please.
Can you outline how the consequence system at Kings works?
Okay, so pastoral matters. So Gemma, can I hand that to you, please?
Yeah, so our behaviour system is very positively based. We give a lot of emphasis on restorative work that we do with our students. There is obviously sanctions for not doing as you're asked or not being ready to learn, but this does include 2 warnings for students who correct their behaviour. But please be assured that if a student is disrupt learning, we will remove them. But there is an opportunity for students to get it right, and they get those warnings first to then correct their behaviour. There's also a period of time for reflection as well, to realise what they've done and how they could change it. I think that's really important.
Lovely, thank you, Gemma. Sam, is there another question?
The next question asks, how many tutors are there in Year 9?
In Year 9. Rachel, can you outline the tutor numbers for me, please?
Yeah, so in each of our year groups 9, 10 and 11, there are either 9 or 10 tutor groups, depending on the exact size of the year group. And then in years 12 and 13, there are either 6 or 7 tutor groups, again depending on the size of the year.
Thank you. Sam, is there any more?
Can you outline what changes have taken place within the school since coronavirus?
Okay, so obviously in the face of adversity with COVID, reopening the schools have obviously been an enormous challenge. But I'm delighted to say that it's been a hugely successful return for staff and students, and we have done far more than simply cope with the situation. We've really been able to make significant progress and get the learning back on track. So we've adopted, as with the DFE guidelines, year group bubbles. We've zoned up areas of the school, but we've also set up their out-of-zone classrooms as well, that have some sort of additional measures in terms of cleaning and process and routes in and out, so that we've allowed the practical elements of certain GCSE courses to be successfully taught. And whilst we've had a range of restrictions, we've actually been able to gradually ease some of those, such as the reopening of PE, and as of the first week after half term will be the Sports Academy reopening as well. Sam, are there any others?
On a related matter, what software will be being used should schools go back into lockdown?
Certainly, okay. Rachel, would you like to outline?
Yeah, so those of you that are current parents and those students who've come up will know that we use Firefly in order to set homework and to set tasks for our students. That will continue, but that will be blended with a number of live lessons which will be taught through Teams. All students who are here at King's have their own email, which will be their log on at kingofwessex.co.uk, and that will mean that they can then access those Teams links in order to join their live lessons. We will make sure that over 50% of the lessons that are offered are live, and they'll be supplemented by that Firefly work and using Firefly to submit.
Lovely, thank you very much. Sam, are there any other questions that have come in?
A couple will push together, one asking how many break times and lunch times there are, and alongside that, what are the arrangements around lunches, where can you get food, can students leave site, etc.
Okay, so in terms of the outline of the school day, I shall hand over to Gemma in a second, but other than to say, in addition to that COVID response, we've made some subtle changes to the school day in terms of those break times and lunch times, and years 9 and 10 following an ever so slightly different school day from the 11s, 12s and 13s. But in terms of your general structure, Gemma, would you like to just pick that up?
Yeah, no problem. So each year group gets a break time of 20 minutes, and each year group gets a lunchtime as well. At the moment, they are running separately due to COVID and the restrictions we've put in, but students are still able to get food at break and at lunch, and that does include hot food as well. They can get their food from the cafe, but they do have their own indoor space of which we're allowing them to eat as well.
Lovely, thank you. And Sam, are there any others?
A couple more. What will be happening to work experience, particularly post-COVID? Will that still be going ahead?
So as I mentioned earlier, there's really strong links that we have with the community. Current guidance suggests that we can't run work experience in the current format. But without all of these things, we're hoping that there will be some easing that's made throughout the course of the year, particularly as the majority of that work experience happens for Year 10 students towards the summer months. So at the moment, we've had to put that on hold, but we're hoping that as restrictions ease, going into next academic year and beyond, then we'll be able to introduce those back in for the end of Year 10. Are there any others, Sam?
Yeah, lots more coming in.
Okay.
Can you outline sort of details on size of Kings, how many students, how many year groups, how it's broken down?
Sure. So Kings is an upper school of a middle school system. Year groups vary somewhere between 250 and 280 students. They start at Year 9 and then we go up to Year 13. And we've got between 9 and, as we mentioned earlier, 9 and 10 tutors in each one of those year groups. Does that answer the question? Lovely.
The final question that, there's been another one coming in. So push these two questions together. How long is lunch break? Just for clarity, and as a ballpark figure, how much are meals during the day?
Okay, Gemma, can you pick that up? Lunchtime is?
Yeah, we are currently
40 or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Year group slightly, isn't it?
Yeah, at the moment.
And then food price?
Food price varies depending on the snacks and the meals. We also do meal deals here as well, so it's fairly relevant to your shop, I would suggest.
Okay, so we're averaging, I think, it's about £2.20, isn't it? Between £2.20 and £3 per meal, obviously dependent. And the cafe is open first break and is open during the lunchtime period. Any others, Sam?
That's everything we've had.
Okay, that's brilliant that's worked. Thank you very much. So once again, let me take the opportunity to thank you very much for joining us this evening. Unusual as it is, I know that we are delighted to be able to offer you, although not the usual open evening experience, at least some live experience. So my thank you to Rachel Hopwood, and my thanks to Gemma Hunt and to Sam Galdike, who's been the driving force behind the technology. Off the back of the frequently asked questions that we've, some of which we've fielded today, we will actually send out some further details of that and make that available on the website and to the middle schools as well. But in the meantime, of course, please do not hesitate in contacting us should you have any further questions. I look forward to finally being able to welcome you through the doors of the Academy in the future. For the time being, I wish you a very good evening. Thank you.